Hello, thank you for joining me. Today's a bit different. We're off to see the Friday night dinner film location. So, I should probably be saying...
Hello all!
And also...
Shalom! Shalom!
So, without further ado, let's roll the intro and get on with the video. Now, if you haven't watched Friday Night Dinner, or you're one of my subscribers like Mr. TPR or me and my Royal Enfield from Australia and America, you'll probably have no idea what I'm on about. Well, Friday Night Dinner is a very popular comedy, especially with young people, on Channel 4 here in the UK. It's had 6 series so far. So it's got that sort of style that I really enjoy. And I thought, well, this channel is all about sharing what I enjoy with you. And also, it's a chance to see the bike in an urban environment. They'll be filtering later on, but for now the roads are quite quiet, surprisingly for London. So you join me in a place called Mill Hill / Barnet, which is a very popular area, very rich area. So I'm looking out for massive Land Rovers just pulling out whenever they want. I see one coming up, so I'm just going to let them out. So it's not a very long video today really, it's just to show you the location, and then thanks to the Freedom of Something Act I'm able to show you a few of the clips without overdoing it. So hopefully you can sit back and enjoy this video. If you're wondering what sat-nav I used, there's a review coming up in the top corner. We'll be doing a follow-up review actually. I feel like I've got enough about this sat-nav to share with you now. So if I can get the camera set up right, I'll film this sat-nav in action and show you why I think it's so clear and so helpful for commuting, although I still take the wrong turn occasionally. Even over my voiceover you should be able to hear the sat-nav in action. This is it on its full volume. Brightness is probably full brightness as well, I just let it do it automatically. I've never had a problem with it dipping down in tunnels. And in terms of the glare, I think even from my camera you can see this is very easy to read. In terms of the look of the sky you get in the background, that's only because of the camera angle. Because I've got this facing flat to me, I don't see any of that, I just see the pure screen lit up and no reflections. So it's a brilliant one, I really would recommend it. And I know that a lot of people have had it. I know there's trouble with connecting your phone, as people have mentioned in the comments before, but the whole reason I ride a motorbike is to get away from my phone, my emails, everything really. So there's no intention to link my phone to this. Now we've just arrived at the film location. I found this very easily on Google Maps. They've put it as a tourist attraction, but it still is a private house, so there's no way I'm knocking on the door, especially with the virus around. There's nothing I want to say to them anyway. So thanks to that freedom of sharing something for not profit, I'm able to show you a few clips, so sit back and enjoy what I think is funny, and I hope you will too, and then we'll get back to the video.
Shitting! Shit on it!
Oh, Martin!
My car! My shitting car! How did that happen?
I think I know.
Hello all! Just checking the roof. Shalom to you all! Oh! You buggering lunatic!
Martin!
What did you do that for? Yeah! It's tradition. Tradition?
No, Jim. That's the Greeks.
Oh, yes. It's the Greeks.
Martin!
What? Come on!
Oh, Adam!
Sorry, Mum.
Martin, why didn't you help me?
What?
My God. I'm outside the house.
The death cult. Let's go.
Hopefully you found those funny. Obviously I had to choose the episodes that feature the outside of the house, otherwise this would be a bit of a pointless trip. So, our next stop is a place called the Bridge Cafe. If you watched the early versions of the UK Apprentice, this is where they go to have a cup of tea out of a polystyrene cup before they get fired. It's a greasy spoon, I didn't think it'd be open, but I know there's a place to pull up in front of it, so I thought I'd go and have a look. So anyway, so we get on the dual carriageway. Some scooters pass me. Nothing very exciting to report really. I'll speed it up. I've been watching these videos called the Zen School of Motoring, and I absolutely love it. It's this guy with this very calm attitude, and that's the attitude I try and apply. I'm never really in a rush, especially recently, seeing as I have no job. You see occasionally I put the power on, but with so many speed cameras and people just jumping out at you in London, I never think there's any point really. If I'm late, of course I'll filter, and occasionally moments like this, where I know I'm going to be here for 5-10 minutes if I don't, then it's a good time to use the filtering skills. But really for me, filtering is not something that I choose to do. I don't think it's worth the risk a lot of the time, but that's because I mainly ride my bike for fun, and as I said, I haven't worked for nearly 3 months, so I don't know what commuting is like anymore. Having said that, London was particularly busy. This is way busier than I was expecting it to be. I thought I'd see a few cars. The sat-nav performed really well. You see here me behind this cement truck. I do still manage to take the wrong turn. It wants me to go down that B&Q bit, but I wasn't looking. I was more interested in what was going on in front of me, so I managed to miss the turn. I pulled into some random residential road. Now I'm applying something again not seen in London, known as patience. I'm just going to sit and fiddle with the sat-nav while this car slowly comes towards me. I wasn't expecting Lewis Hamilton, but it would be nice if they put some oomph on. I did get a thank you though. If you'd be interested in me doing some Zen School of Motorbiking, maybe with a different title so I don't get accused of copying, I'd be more than happy to do so. I think my riding manner is quite calm. I try not to rush. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And I basically dub over me riding with calm responses to situations that would normally make other people very angry. Like this, for example. He's driving and having a chat with a lady on the pavement. This went on for a while, but as I said, I'm not in a rush. I could honk. I could just sit down the side, but I'm also trying to avoid all the cuttings that have been thrown over the road. This is one way of getting a puncture. I do end up riding through it, but in this case there wasn't much choice. I think this is what makes the difference between someone like me, with a full licence, who's been riding for 5 years, and someone on a scooter, delivering pizzas, or sushi, or whatever Deliveroo do, who maybe did the CBT, maybe they didn't even bother doing the CBT, and they've got less road experience. It doesn't make me invincible, but I think it gives me a slightly better sense of what's going on. Anyway, so we're just coming up to the Bridge Cafe now. As I've said, these are places that I've been watching for a long time, and they were both within 40 minutes where I live. And I thought the traffic would be relatively quiet, so it was a good time to go and check it out. Anyway, I can't find any footage from The Apprentice of when they were in here. They did recently change from the Bridge Cafe to some other greasy spoon. That was a bit more of an upmarket one, but again, this is quite popular in London. I don't know if this was around when they did the cafe racing scene, but what would happen is they'd race from somewhere like here, if it existed, to somewhere like the Ace Cafe, which we passed on the way home, if you stick with me. Getting back onto the dual carriageway took a very long time. I was here for exactly 1.5 minutes, which actually, when you can't nip round and you just have to sit there holding in the clutch or leaving the bike in neutral, it's quite a long time. This is when I could really feel the heat of the Triumph engine getting bigger. I know it's sometimes seen as the cheap one, although it is the same price as the Street Triple, the Street Scrambler, the Street Cup, etc. We'll get onto that in another video. It is still a 900cc twin, and it does pump out quite a lot of heat. This is the first time I've ever felt the heat of this bike. It was like opening an oven door under you and just having the heat just constantly pour out. As soon as the bike got running again, it went lovely and cold. In fact, by the time I got off the motorway, I could practically put my hand on the engine. The cooling had done such a great job with that wind blast of 70 miles an hour exactly. That wind blast really cools things down, so it is water cooled, but this hottest I've ever felt the bike get. So you see here I do some filtering. One thing I always have to get used to again in London is the distance and how close people get to each other in their vehicles. In this morning I was driving around Ashridge Estate, it's in Hertfordshire, which has some lovely roads. They're all countryside. Everyone's very patient and everyone's very polite. You even get some waves back and some thank yous, which is always nice. But in London, people get so close. I've taken my car in before as well, people have let me out of gaps, and people have pulled out in front of me, and I've slotted in between cars with like a foot or less of space. But in London, that's fine. I think if you then took London driving and took it back to what I call the countryside, or just anywhere that isn't London and, you know, people are nice, it would be a very different matter. I think everyone's response in London is to just rush to get there, because they're only there for work. I can't imagine anyone drives in London for pleasure, unless you have a Lamborghini and you like driving up and down Harrods, but I don't think that's very fun. There's lots of things I had to look out for. You see this Mini with the most dodgy trailer number plate you've ever seen. They still can't decide what lane. They cut in front of me, and then I have to awkwardly pass them on the left. I'm never a fan of passing on the left. I know there are 2 lanes here, but this was one of those things where reaction time took over for a brief moment of what you're actually meant to do. I then get that car out of the way, and we continue passing down the dual carriageway. Again, this is so much busier than I thought it was going to be. This is about 5 o'clock when I'm filming this. Let me just look at my clock. 5:19 as I film this. This is the 50-mile-an-hour section, drops down to 40 miles an hour. But again, I doubt you could even do that speed. Here I'm doing... my centre's in the way. Here I'm doing about 24, 23, 24. Now, you see me look over my shoulders a lot. This is what's known as a lifesaver. It's the final glance before you move lanes or change into the direction where someone else could be coming along. I literally cannot break this habit. I do lifesavers in my car. I did that on my car test. The feedback from the car examiner was that at least I looked and that I was better than most people at observation, which was a nice feeling. I'm definitely no instructor, but what you do is you flick over your shoulder, you're having a good look, take as long as you like, but don't take your eyes off what's going on at front, and then you move if it's safe to do so. It's one of those skills that takes ages to learn, and you'll get a gist of if you're looking for too long, if you're looking not enough. One example, I was on my 125 and I was looking over my shoulder for too long, and then in front of me, suddenly out of nowhere, popped a Mini that decided to brake and join traffic. There was one time where I had to quickly use the avoidance manoeuvre and dip down the right hand side of them. It's not my proudest moment, but I thought I'd share it with you. Just rewinding for a moment, I passed the Ace Cafe, but I forgot to mention it in the previous edit. I'll just point it out now, just up there. I'll be saving it for another video when the Ace Cafe's open. I think coming up this weekend was Triumph Day, which I was really keen to go and film, as I know the Ace Cafe has the old stuff and the new stuff and some really good food too. But I'll save that for a future video when it's open, and I feel like you guys will enjoy it more. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you'd like to see me go anywhere specific. I'm more than happy to go and do a film location. Let's say you live in Australia or America and you really want me to go and see, I don't know, Buckingham Palace or something. I'm more than happy to do that ride for you and show you the route. Feel free to comment below, and if you haven't subscribed already, please like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. My next video, weather permitting, is me riding in the rain. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that doesn't sound very fun. It will be. You bet. We're going to ride from my house to the Epping Forest and ride around the Epping Forest for a little while, and hopefully, if it's open, I can get a cup of tea while I'm there as well. So I thought something different for you. You don't see a lot of vloggers riding in the rain on purpose, so I thought I'll go out and I'll talk about what the bike's like in the rain. It does have rain mode, but we'll touch on more of that in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy. Ride safe.